My wife suddenly called, "Where are you?" I was at the grocery store with our son. Aisle 7, my name is Gabriel, and I'm from Denver, Colorado. This is a story about the day I discovered the truth. The phone buzzed in my pocket as I reached for a box of cereal. Her name lit up the screen. My wife, Natalie. "Where are you?" she asked. Her voice was strained, her voice sharp with panic. Aisle 7, getting cereal with our son Liam. Silence. Too long. Leave the cart. Leave everything. Walk calmly to the front and get out. I stopped short, my hand still on the box. "Why, I'm not done shopping. I can't explain." "Go now." Her voice cracked, panic wrapped in urgency. Liam tugged at my sleeve, asking if we could still get the marshmallow cereal. I ignored him, my heart clenching, my mind pulling in two directions, to obey or to question. But her tone was telling it was not about danger. It was about something concealed. About me not seeing something. I took his hand, forced a smile, and walked out, calm, measured. But every step felt heavier than the last. That was the moment I knew. Whatever game was being played, I was not supposed to notice. And so, of course, I began to investigate. That night, she acted as though nothing had happened. Cooking, laughing, telling stories that did not matter. But her eyes darted. Her hands shook when she poured the wine. She thought I was not watching. I was always watching. The call replayed in my head. Not fear, not protection. She had not told me to leave the store for my safety. She told me to leave because of what I might see. What I tried to dismiss it, tried to suppress it with daily habits. But silence is fertile soil for suspicion. And suspicion is a seed that once planted never stops growing. Her phone buzzed that night. She snatched it before I could glance. The motion was too swift, too desperate. "Work," she said. But she worked in finance. No one calls past midnight unless there's a financial emergency. I lay beside her, staring at the ceiling. Liam asleep down the hall, the house breathing its steady, familiar rhythm, and yet everything inside me had shifted. That call in aisle 7 was not random. It was a thread, and I would pull it until the entire fabric disintegrated. I became methodical and patient. Her schedule became mine. When she showered, I checked her phone. Deleted text, call logs too clean. Gaps where conversations should have lived. I traced her emails, her bank statements, her browser history. Not recklessly, but with a surgeon's precision. I moved like a surgeon carving out a malignancy. But it was not the phone records that shattered my composure. It was the photographs hidden in a folder buried beneath folders. A man named Marcus, same smile in every picture. Same eyes she used to look at me with. Her hand in his, her lips on his. I stared at the screen until my own reflection blurred against it. A cold, silent reflection. I ordered a DNA kit the next day for Liam, for myself. Not because I doubted him. No, I already loved him as my blood, my shadow. But because betrayal's decay goes deeper than the physical. I needed certainty. 2 weeks. That's how long it took. 2 weeks of pretending smiling. Across the dinner table. Holding her hand in public, tucking Liam into bed as though I was quietly suffocating inside my own life. Every day she grew bolder. Every day my facade grew colder. And when the envelope finally arrived, I opened it with steady hands. The results were uncompromising in their simplicity. Probability of paternity, 0. 0. The kind of number that offered no argument, no room for doubt. I folded the paper neatly, slid it into my jacket pocket, and waited until evening. When she came home, I placed it on the table without a word. She looked at it confused, then terrified. Her hands shook as she opened it, eyes racing across the lines, widening, filling with tears. "Please, it's not what you think," but I said nothing. The silence did more damage than shouting ever could. She crumbled into a torrent of words, fragments, excuses, please. Her voice cracked under the weight of her own lies. I just watched, cold, detached. The balance of power had shifted. She knew it, I knew it. The next morning, I packed her suitcase, folded her clothes with care, placed them by the door. When she came into the kitchen, her eyes red and swollen, I slid the suitcase toward her. "Leave." Her mouth opened, closed, searching for leverage, finding none. "I can explain." I shook my head, once calm, final. "This house isn't yours anymore." "Neither am I." She broke, then sobs tearing through her, the sound of a soul, realizing the game was over. I didn't yell. I didn't curse. I didn't strike. I just watched her fall apart until she was small enough to carry her own suitcase out the door. The door shut, and the silence that followed was the most freeing sound I had ever heard. My son Liam sat at the table coloring. He looked up at me innocent, untouched by the betrayal that had soaked his mother's lips. I would raise him, love him, protect him. He didn't need to share my blood to be mine. As for her, she no longer existed. Not in this house, not in my thoughts, not in the future I was building. Betrayal does not end in a blaze. It ends in an empty space. And when she disappeared from our lives, I felt nothing but peace. Not anger, not grief. Just the quiet certainty that the truth had finally set me free. The final thought as I turned off the light that night was simple, piercing, and absolute. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more unbelievable real-life experiences, don't forget to hit the like button, share this video, and most importantly, subscribe to Home Exposed so you never miss an update.